So today's presentation is on expanding early literacy children's programs in public libraries. Public libraries provide many services to the communities they serve. For a lot of us, libraries are a familiar place we frequented often when we were young with our parents. We went there after school with our friends to do our homework or just to read books on our own. In college, we spent a lot of time doing research, writing papers, and studying for exams. Libraries have always been an important part of our lives, and as we have our own families, we will take our own children to the library. In early years of a child's life, it is important to introduce them to books, as a child is never too young to go to the library. Libraries don't just provide access to books and information, they also offer many different types of programs for children of all ages. It is important to read to your child when they are young. This provides a bond between the parent and the child. The child responds to what is being read to them, even if they are not fully able to comprehend what is being said. Libraries can also help parents and caregivers with the learning experience. Children's programs are not just set up today to be entertaining. They are also meant to be educational. Young children learn in many different ways, such as hearing, singing, touching, and repeating. A good example of an interactive educational story time could include singing and the use of finger puppets to illustrate what a song means, such as the 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. The children learn by hearing the song, singing the song, and watching the puppets. If the children are enjoying and engaging with the program, then the program is successful, and they'll want to continue and come home back to the library. Children's programs are continually evolving as we learn new ways of teaching and improving upon what we already know works. There's always room to improve programming, but we are learning that it is important to not only focus on the child, but to look to the parents and the caregivers to help in the learning process. As a librarian, you only have a limited amount of time with the child. The rest is up to the parent or the caregiver to fill in the rest. By focusing on both parties, it's a win-win situation for all. Children's programs different ways of making it more accessible for parents, working parents, caregivers, is to offer children's programs at different times, maybe having the same program twice a month, once on the weekdays, once on the weekends, to offer and give more of a selection to working parents and give them the choices to be able to bring their child. If they like it enough, you'll see sometimes that you'll have them at both of the programs if they enjoy it. The American Library Association, the Public Library Association, joined forces to create the Every Child Ready to Read at Your Library program. The program gives caretakers and parents the tools to teach and nurture their child's early literacy skill set. The program reaches out to adults that may or may not frequent the local libraries. The first edition focused on a set of 6 skills. Those skills were print awareness, letter knowledge, phonological awareness, vocabulary, narrative skills, and print motivation. While the second edition, which was just released a few years ago, focuses on 5 practices: talking, singing, reading, writing, and playing. Although both editions are different, they can still be used together with one another. The program has been really popular with public libraries and parents and caregivers. The Toolkit program can be purchased on the ALA website and costs around $200. Additional costs may be incurred depending on the extra amount of promotional material you may need, which may run anywhere from $10 a poster to $30 for a pack of 100 brochures. This is a program that many libraries or librarians have been using, but there are still many out there that could benefit from it. Another program that has become increasingly popular in recent years is the Read the Dog program. This program has young children reading to dogs. Studies have shown that reading to dogs can reduce the level of anxiety a person may have, which is often why dogs are welcomed as visitors to college and rehabilitation centers and hospitals. Today, dogs are helping young children read by providing a stress-free learning environment in public libraries and schools. Years ago, my mother took my dog, Sophie, to assist her at story time she was doing at the library she worked. They were reading Fancy Nancy and the Posh Puppy. The dog in the story was a Papillon, which is the same breed as Sophie. Same coloring, they looked alike. So there was a theme to it. It is safe to say this was a huge hit with the kids. They couldn't get enough of Sophie, and I would have to say the feeling was mutual. They listened to the story as they knew at the end they would get to talk to the dog and they would get to pet her. I could see by the reactions of the children and the parents why this program was a hit and will continue to be for years. I only wish they had this when I was growing up. Another form of technology is also another form that is changing the way we do things at public libraries. As we know, mobile devices are everywhere, so it's only logical that public libraries look into whether or not they are a good fit for them. Tablets have become the new computer in many ways, as you can download an app for almost anything these days. My public library has one for checking out ebooks. Children are learning to use mobile devices at young ages. My coworker's 3-year-old can pull up music and movies on her iPhone, which is probably she learned a lot faster than it took me to learn on mine. Libraries can take advantage of these devices and use them as a learning tool for young children. Mobile devices can also make children ebooks interactive to have the story narrated to them and prompting them to touch certain objects in the story when appropriate. Mobile devices are getting popular every year. As the market gets bigger, the cost will decrease, but they will still cost hundreds of dollars per device. Whether or not this is feasible to a library in this economy will be the question. They may be cheaper than the PC and may save valuable space that the PC now occupies. Children's programming has evolved to be not only entertaining but educational, as the programs now are focused on creating a relationship of the child and the parent-caregiver. By giving the tools to the parents and the caregivers to use at home, libraries are helping families bond and build a better educational foundation for future generations. Public libraries have been and will continue to be an important part of our lives and the communities they serve. Is there any questions? Okay.
Do you think there's a future in books?
Print books or ebooks?
Print books.
Yes, I think that as it is shown that ebooks have come on the market with like Amazon and stuff, that print books are still popular and that there's always going to be room for ebooks and that technology has evolved, so there's room for both.
So you think libraries should spend more money for these different types of media?
I think that libraries should use the technology, yes. I think libraries should at least do a survey and focus and feasible study on it. I think it's important that the library uses the technology that is out there. And since many people have this technology, ebooks, I think it is important that the libraries evolve with it.
I have one other question about the animals.
Okay.
Are these service animals or are they just pets that somebody has? Or?
The study that I've read and referenced in my report is that they are assisted therapy animals that they're using, and the local library in where I live, they are therapy dogs. I would assume that the libraries, yes, would need some kind of certification to make sure they're safe with children. Any other questions?
No, good job.
All right, that concludes. Thanks.
Thank you.